Hi everybody, welcome. Rob Pravansha here from Westmount Photography. So if you're considering having me photograph your wedding, or if you're shopping for a wedding photographer, let me explain a few things, a few ideas, and a few of my philosophies about wedding photography. The first one I want to talk about real quick is the fact that I'm 58 years old. I mean, for some people, and for me at one time it was like the elephant in the room. I was like, oh, I'm getting too old to photograph these young brides. The 28-year-old bride doesn't relate to me anymore. But that is the furthest thing from the truth. That was just the phase I went through about 10 years ago, thinking, you know, when I hit 50, I thought, my wedding photography career is doomed. Not so. Here's the thing. I've been shooting weddings since I was 21 years old. And that's actually a bad thing for some photographers because they get caught and stuck in their own sort of like routine. This is the way I shoot weddings. And then it's just, I'm not moving. But I've never been that way. I've always been the kind of guy who's pushed myself on all levels to become progressive, creative, to kind of flow. I don't like trends so much. Some trends are hokey. You got to watch that. Think in terms of like 20 years from now, is this going to look really hokey? You know, like the peekaboo around the tree pose, which was big in the 80s. But anyways, I try and avoid trends. Some trends are cool and timeless, and they look good on Pinterest. But mostly what I'm after capturing is the heart and soul of your wedding day. So I use a lot of photojournalism. I work alone most of the time. Sometimes I bring an assistant. I rarely bring a second shooter, if ever at all. I feel it's completely unnecessary, given the fact that I'm able to capture some really good images on my own. So when I photograph a wedding, I get to know you guys because we meet. I usually photograph an engagement session. I feel an engagement session is pretty important. It allows me to bond and get to know you guys. And we plan it out, get together usually about 4 weeks before the wedding day. We have another meeting, go through the time and the schedule. Being prepared is really important. I've found that this gives me so much information and so much ammunition to do a better job. And when you're organized, the day just flows. You just want it to flow so you can have a good time. And we can capture a lot of good images. So back to why you should hire a 58-year-old dude to photograph your wedding. The obvious one is experience. I've been at it a long, long time. So I can handle just about anything that's thrown my way. First of all, I try and plan all my equipment so that I'm best prepared mentally. Physically, I'm very strong. You know, I've practiced martial arts and I have a lot of healthy lifestyle choices. So you'll see me sometimes climbing fences or climbing rooftops or whatever to get the shot. You'll see it's just the way I work, and whatever it takes to get the shot, I'm capable. So I try and capture a lot of black and whites, a lot of photojournalism, a lot of heavy documentary, and a lot of funky stuff too, if and when that sort of is available. So, for example, if we're photographing at a building and there's a cool hallway or an alleyway, and I look and I see a fire escape, and I'm like, I can climb up to that fire escape and go up 2 to 3 floors and shoot down and get a cool angle, or likewise I can go and shoot up, whatever, different angles. Those are funky, and sometimes it's lighting. I bring lights with me. I have all this stuff. I'm very, very prepared, so on the wedding day I have all the right tools available for me so that it looks easy. It looks easy. Time and time again, I've had brides and grooms and bridesmaids, especially in the bridal party, tell me that, like, wow, they're happy. They're like, you're really good. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that's what I hear. And I like hearing that because it makes me feel good. I don't know what their expectations were, but for some reason they're like, they get it. So it's important that I sort of put on a show that way so that you can see that I know what I'm doing. It instills confidence. But mostly, it's in the end result. So you want to end up with images that you're really, really happy with. And you want to get them in a timely fashion. So after I shoot a wedding, I typically shoot 2,000 to 3,000 images. I par that down to about 700 or 800, of which I work on each one individually. Black and white, color, sepia, burn, dodge, soft focus, recrop, whatever I need to do to that image to maximize it. Okay? When I work on an image, wedding, I work on each image individually. You get to keep all the digital files. The only time, other than commercial shoots, where they need the digital files because they're going to print and billboards, the only time we give away digital files, full res digital files, is for weddings. It's built into my price list. Okay, so, and you own all rights to them, and they're ready to print. So I work on them. You don't get raw files. I never ever give out raw files because they look crappy. Why would I do that? It makes me look bad. It makes my reputation sketchy. So I put a lot of work into it, and they're delivered to you typically 30 days to the day after the wedding day. And I like to throw teasers up on Facebook if it's okay with you. I always ask in advance to make sure. I've never had anybody say, well, no, I had one guy say no Facebook, and I was like, okay. He's very private. But everyone else is like, all the weddings I photographed in my life since social media was a thing, are totally okay with me putting up sneak preview images on the social media platforms, specifically Facebook and Pinterest. No, Instagram. That's the big one. So what else can I say about all that? I love my job. I love photographing weddings. I used to shoot about 30, 40 a year. I find that's a little too much. So I'm down to about 15. I'm happy with that. And the 15 that I do photograph, I really, really, really put 110% into it. So it's important that I get to know you. It's important that we sit down and have a discussion. I ask brides, I say, send me that Pinterest page that you got with all your favorite wedding images. I want to see it. And they're like, wow, that's cool. And it helps me. I mean, I'm not going to be able to duplicate all those poses, but when I see her Pinterest page with all her favorite images, I'm like, okay, this girl really likes bohemian, gypsy, hippie, woodsy nature, or this girl really likes edgy, uptown, you know, sort of like urban grunge, or this girl's more traditional, or this girl loves photo documentary. When I see those images, I get a sense of what you like. Plus, I also get some images that I will try and duplicate, and it gives me more creative ideas. I've been doing that for years. I have swipe files of ideas that I've accumulated. So that's my take on my wedding photography approach, and if you're interested, give us a call. Come on in. We'll sit down and we'll talk some more. No obligation, and the packages and prices are all there for you to have a look at. If you have any questions on any of the packages, feel free to send us an email. If you're getting married in Costa Rica, where we have our second home in Costa Rica, we spend the winters there, and we photograph weddings there as well. We know the area very well. We've done a lot of weddings there, and let us know. We can talk some more. So if you have any questions, talk to me. All right. Thank you. Bye for now.